Alright, well, this was our group project. I'm Cassidy Wilkie.
Nate Zimmer.
I'm Sarah Alexander.
Trey Russell.
Jeff Blaza.
So what we are, this class is a service learning class. So what we did is we took a community in the Siouxland area. After talking to Kevin, we discovered some of your weaknesses, where you guys can grow and stuff. So we took that information. We've got some ideas for you. If you hate them, take it with a grain of salt, but we're really hoping that you guys love them and that you'll implement some of them. So these are fresh new ideas that we're hoping you'll like. Thank you guys for letting us do this for you. So hopefully you guys can follow along with the booklets and you can see what we've been up to.
So just a little bit of a brief history on the Miracle League. It's a nonprofit social organization focusing on improving the social lives of young adults and children, mainly with mental disabilities. The complex was completed after a couple phases in October of 2016. Founded by, of course, Kevin Nygaard, who basically built a philosophy of the Miracle League around his idea that every kid deserves a chance to play baseball. And that's kind of how he injected his philosophy of that into the Miracle League, and that's kind of how he shaped Sioux City's Miracle League. Essentially, the Miracle League has a fully functional park and recreational complex, has a jumbotron, splash pad, field, fully concession, everything that you need to have a good time in the summer. And our main overarching goal as we set out on this project was to strengthen the relationships between the Miracle League and the Sioux City community. The park right now currently has a regular group of individuals who use the park. However, Miracle League was looking to expand that past just the regular individuals that are with them right now. They mainly host individuals who are mentally and or physically disabled. However, they would like to reach out past that and expand their boundaries.
So after talking to Kevin, we decided that there are certain people and places that we wanted to target for this project especially. One of the people that we wanted to reach out were people at the Boys and Girls Home. The reason that we want to target the administrators specifically for this is because we can't guarantee that a child would be able to pass on the information to a parent or a guardian, something like that. So these children tend to be suffering with the emotional and behavioral damages that they've had in their lives. We think that the Miracle League would be a great opportunity for them to be there and experience that as well. We wanted to target Siouxland Center for Active Generations. They're always trying to find something to do. We think that this would be something great. And then later on, we'll let you guys know how we plan on targeting this with the Boys and Girls Home as well. Opportunities unlimited. I think a lot of the children already do go to the Miracle League and they seem to love it. Once again, we have an opportunity set up for them that they can experience this more as a group stuff that you'll learn later on. But this one, we're going to pass the info to the clients, to their members as well, or their parents, and then we want to kind of target the ones with the head injuries and stuff, the ones that usually are in a wheelchair and stuff, help them to experience this so that they know that they're not just bound by that. Lastly, the businesses of Siouxland, specifically when we want to target the sponsors for you guys. We think that this would be great for outings as well. You'll see later as well. But this can go through the Chambers of Commerce so that they can expand this as well for them.
So while we were working on the creation of this plan, we came up with 3 separate objectives in order to reach our goal. And the first of those objectives is to team up with at least 3 new Siouxland organizations in the upcoming year. And we chose that objective based on what Kevin told us in our initial meeting, some of the organizations that he was wishing to team up.
Okay, the first organization, obviously we mentioned already, is the Boys and Girls Home. Our action strategy for them is to contact CEO Art Silva and set up a face-to-face meeting. We feel like we're trying to develop an annual event. The best way to really do that is face-to-face, so you guys can really work out the details and come up with a date and everything of that nature. The Boys and Girls Home, they're all suffering from behavioral, psychiatric issues. It's all from coming up with a rough family, and they've had a rough beginning of their life so far, so we feel like we could really make a change in their lives. Tactics for this is to hold the first annual Breaking Barriers Barbecue. We created a poster that you guys can see. We'll get into the details of the barbecue in a little bit here. But also on top of the barbecue, we have a news release and a media advisory that will also be explaining, and we would distribute those posters to participating organizations. The reason I say organizations is just because this is a combined event with the Siouxland Center for Active Generations. Kevin mentioned he wanted some of the older generations to be coming in and from the community and really using the field also. We feel this is a perfect opportunity for the older generations to spread their knowledge into the younger kids who are having trouble and some struggles in their lives so far. So action strategy for these guys is to contact either the activities director or the executive director, and again, face-to-face meeting to create this event. So the tactics are the same here, and it's all about this event called the Breaking Barriers Barbecue. Obviously, this is the poster here. The way this is going to go is each participant who enters the field is going to get a number. So each little kid that comes in from the Boys and Girls Home gets a number. Each older person from the community gets a number, and those numbers are going to be buddies for the whole day. So it's going to start. Obviously, they're going to get their numbers and become buddies. We feel like Kevin he should give a speech kind of like what I just mentioned, just to really go through, what can we get out of this and what we're really looking for. And then you're going to play a baseball game with your buddies, so it's not going to be little kids versus, the older generations. It's going to be mixed. The older generations can, teach them some things, and at the same time, it's going to allow them to kind of relive their glory days. Lunch is catered by Hy-Vee. We looked into that, and the budget for that would be $200 if you cater to. It's estimated at $1,000 for catering up to 100 people. So we did that research for you guys. After lunch, we feel it's open free time for the kids to go utilize the rest of the park, while the Siouxland Center for Active Generations members can talk with whoever the guardians are for these kids. A lot of them don't have parents. A lot of them are being fostered by other parents. So it's really a good time for them to spread their knowledge and try to get this family moving in the right direction. And then the night's going to end with the Sandlot on the big screen and a fireworks show. And we actually looked into that, and the permit for a fireworks show is actually only $200 in Iowa. And it's up to you guys on how big you guys want to make the fireworks show. So that's our first event, the Breaking Barriers Barbecue.
And in order to really get the word out about this event, we would ideally someone from your organization would write a news release. And what that is just kind of a brief article explaining either an event or other sort of major maybe donation or something like that that's happened to the Miracle League. And so you write a little article and send it out to different media outlets in the community, hoping that they will write a story on it. And so we've included a sample news release inside your booklet, and the sample news release focuses on this new campaign that we came up with, specifically the Breaking Barriers Barbecue, which is the kickoff of the campaign. It also includes a quote from Kevin. Quotes are a good thing to include in news releases as well. And then at the bottom, it includes a media advisory, which essentially just says, it invites the media to come out and gives them like a specific time of when they can take pictures or interview various people.
The next group we chose to focus on is Opportunities Unlimited. It's another group that Kevin mentioned when we were interviewing him early on in the semester. All clients from OU have either suffered or born with some kind of head injury, so they kind of have to have people to help. Some people have to have them help them, day to day, just do daily things. It's kind of the perfect chance to act upon the slogan that every kid deserves a chance to play baseball. But in this case, we were actually focused on the golfing. So action strategy, we're going to contact administrators inside, and once again, a face-to-face meeting. We feel like that's the easiest way. There's no gray area. You're really going to lay out the details. And our tactic is the first annual putt-putt for potential. The Opportunities Unlimited, when we were researching their website, they really focus on maximizing personal potential. So we feel like it's something that could relate well with them. Once again, we have posters that we would distribute. This is another example. So we distribute posters to OU participants, and then we actually have a sample story pitch that we wrote up for you guys that would be kind of just something that you can learn from and maybe write one of your own. So the pop-up for potential, obviously there's the poster. This is kind of, once again, we're focused on fulfilling that personal potential. And it showcases an aspect of the park other than just the field. Everyone knows you guys have the field, but not everyone knows about the putt-putt. And it kind of gives OU members time to shine. We feel like we could really set it up to where it's kind of like the Masters, where somebody's on a microphone and here comes Jordan up for his second tee shot of the game or something. I feel like it really would make them feel wanted and welcome. And obviously we came up with the idea maybe host it around the time of the Masters, so it kind of relates.
So in addition to the news release that you can use to reach out to local media, another way to do that is in the form of a pitch letter. And what that is it's similar to a news release, but it's this time it's only directed at one specific reporter, giving them kind of exclusive rights to whatever story you want to tell. So we came up with a sample story pitch, and the full thing is in your booklet, but it essentially just addresses, it talks about a child who was personally affected by an event at Miracle League, and it just kind of tells his story in depth.
Our second objective is to target Siouxland businesses. Obviously, we want to increase usage by Siouxland businesses by 25% in the upcoming year. It's something, we don't currently know how many businesses have used Siouxland in the past year, so it's kind of hard to measure for us. But we feel like you guys kind of have that number, so you could measure it later on. To start, we feel like our first strategy should be to focus on current sponsors. We feel like they're sort of obligated. If you ask them, hey, you want to use the field for the company outing, they're probably not going to say no. And then we want to expand on that and contact the Chamber of Commerce for a list of registered businesses in the Siouxland area. And moving on to tactics, we chose Cinos as the first test run trial. So you contact Ruth Klein and discuss the options for an outing. On top of that, we created a brochure for you guys that you could, this is obviously the real copy of it, but this is just bigger so you can see all the details. But that's stuff that you could really distribute anywhere. I always think of Hy-Vee, they have the board where you can pin things. So it's kind of a bright, that's the paint on the, it's kind of weird looking on that, but it's supposed to be bright like that. Someone can just walk by and see it and grab it and take it to their boss and say, hey, let's have a company outing. And then lastly, we feel like maybe contact one business a week from the list that you got from the Chamber of Commerce, and really just try to get as many businesses as possible coming in.
So as we mentioned, the brochure is the tactic we chose to really target local Siouxland businesses, but not only businesses, anyone who wants to hold an individual private party, such as a family reunion or picnic or something like that. The way that it really targets them is when you open it up, the first flap that you see is one that's all the way over on the left, and it includes what the complex can be reserved for, as well as how to do that either by contacting Chad or by visiting the website. And then the inside of it just has just simple kind of condensed information about what all the complex includes.
All right, so for our last objective, something that we also thought we could do that would help the Miracle League a lot would be to increase their social media presence. Obviously, in today's world, everyone is constantly on their phone, constantly on social media, so we think that this would be a great way to be able to increase the park's visitation by the community, rather than any other publics. We're going to mainly focus on Facebook because that's kind of the age group, we think, and the publics that are most going to be using this. But anything from Instagram, Twitter, anything like that, just making posts that will kind of emphasize the things that are going on at the Miracle League and getting other people to come out and see what's going on.
So this is an example of a post using the poster from the Breaking Berries barbecue kind of as a headline. And this would be a link to the news release that we wrote up for you guys. So when the journal would take it on, send it out, you could get the online version, put a link to it, hey, here's our upcoming first annual Breaking Berries barbecue, and it's just spreading awareness out. This one is saying, hey, summer's right around the corner, don't miss your chance on the fun. Come to the website, sign up and reserve a date for your company. And this one is kind of something we came up with is, Opportunities Unlimited is our first featured Siouxland organization of the week. If you want to become the featured organization, contact us and we can make an event and you guys can be featured. Really, we want to target adults and parents with Facebook. because they can tell their kids about it, they can tell their coworkers about it, they can tell any kind of other organization about it. And the more that you tag an organization, like actually say, hey, we're going to put at Opportunities Unlimited, they're going to see that and they're going to share it, and the more people share it, the more it gets around.
Alrighty, to get this moving on, this is our media flow chart that we have. It's just saying what areas that you should focus on and how often. So website, constantly updated. Social media, constantly updated, if not every day. Local news, keep that pretty more around when there's events going on. Posters, events as well, brochures, kind of during the summer so that this can be expanded for that time. When we do our evaluation plan, we're hoping to team up with the new Siouxland organizations to get this going for the
It's
upcoming
pretty
year.
easy to evaluate this. It's, did the 3 groups suggested agree to hold the event, and did any other organizations further on in the year get on it? Objective 2 was to increase usage by Siouxland businesses. Like I said, it's kind of up to you guys on this, on how many we held last year compared to this year. I want to ask them, how did you hear about it? That's really good to kind of go with our next one, which is Objective 3 of social media. This is going to come down to keep an updated calendar, and we actually researched this, and there's actually a website called TimeBridge that allows you to sync your Google Calendar or Outlook calendar to your website, and it gives an actual visual of what dates are open. You can click it and request a day. It'll send you guys a notification, and you guys can say yes, no, here's a better time or not. It's free, there's no spam. It's really something that you guys could look into. And then lastly, you always want to ask, how did you hear about the opportunity?
Thank you guys once again for letting us do this for you. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and ask them right now.
All right, so we started. My name is Colin. This is Lindsay, Maddie, and Brett. And this is our PR program for you guys. So, start off with a statement of problem. The Miracle League offers a friendly, playful environment. People from all forms of walks of life. It's our goal to help and strengthen the relationship between the Miracle League and the Sioux City community so it can be used to its utmost potential. Statement of goals, came up with this as a class to strengthen the relationships between the league and the Sioux City community. And then targeted publics, the various media outlets throughout the city. We felt like it was vital to hit on those so they could get more news out about you guys. News reporters to write stories. Volunteers, Kevin mentioned that having more volunteers wouldn't be a bad thing, so we're going to target them. Disability-related organizations, OU, Boys and Girls Home, places like that throughout the city. Local businesses, your sponsors, and then area schools, try to tie in with some of their programs that they're doing, get them out to the field. And senior citizens was the last one.
Okay, so our objectives to get you to that goal is first to connect with disabilities-related agencies to make sure they have access to the complex, so that you can call them up anytime you have an event, just making sure they know, and more than once. Because basically we want to increase all traffic to the complex to all parts and become more known to the Siouxland community by the end of the summer season, this summer season. So to do that, we want to set up an email, phone, and face-to-face contact with agencies whenever a major event is booked at the complex, and we'll go into more detail on what events we want to book at your complex. And then we want to send posters to every Siouxland business in the Sioux City Chamber of Commerce and send to the schools so that everybody knows and it's more a widespread event. And then the main theme of our project is to create theme days at your park during the summer that relate to every part of the complex so that you can get use out of every part. And we'll go into more detail on what the theme days are. And then we want to promote events on multiple social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and your original website just to get more people talking about it. So one of those ways is to create a news release. And our idea for the news release was to do a free ice cream day at the splash pad. You can have multiple of these during the summer, I guess, but mostly just in the middle of summer when nothing is going on. So for example, we have it on like Saturday, June 24th from set time. And so everyone gets a free t-shirt and ice cream upon entry, and you get a ticket to make sure that everyone gets at least one of everything. And then we would call media to take pictures and write a story on the event to get more coverage that way.
And then a couple other ways we use different themed events. We use our sample story pitches. We have 2 of them. They're kind of focused around our themed events. What a sample story pitch is basically like a news release, but it's more geared towards one certain writer and having them kind of have full control of the story, where instead in the news release you're kind of writing your own story. So for our first one, we addressed it to Tim Gallagher. He's a writer at the Sioux City Journal. And our pitch is for Mini Golf Monday. And so the idea for Mini Golf Monday is that we would target the senior citizens demographic, look at different retirements and nursing homes in the Siouxland area, and just have them come out and maybe have some of your kids come and play with them, but mainly we're kind of targeting senior citizens. This will help increase park traffic for you, as well as promotes different activities besides just your league games. Then we have our second sample story pitch. This one will be to Jackie Foster. She's a feature writer of the Sioux City Journal. And our pitch for this would be Friday Night Lights Baseball League. So during the summer, there's not too much going on Friday nights, and it's just kind of getting people active on a Friday night, and it's outside of your normal Sunday night leagues games. We're mainly focusing on targets families and businesses just to set up their own teams and be a part of the league. Again, this will help promote traffic and activity to the complex. So for these 2 different themes, we're going to create we created our own posters. So one poster for Mini Golf Mondays would look like that. And then for Friday Night Lights, we came up with our other poster as well. And then the budget in all of this, we estimated about $4,000 for the entire project. About 230 would go to 1,000 posters, so 500 for each of the different events. About 310 for ice cream, and we looked into asking Wells to donate, and we have a number for you to call. T-shirts would be about 3,000 for t-shirts. We also looked into Absolute Screen Art for them to help create those for you as well, and we have that number for you.
Yeah, and there's many different people that would be able to help out with these. So different types of parties. You guys as Miracle League Board, I think, would be a great help. Just getting these events started, getting them going, and those in charge of social media and other staff. That way we can kind of boost these events to get them going, get them started. And you can't really do many of these events without many volunteers. So we'll find a way to help you guys get these volunteers out and help them. And we also created a timeline, just an example, to try and get you guys to have an idea of what it would take to make some of these. So one of these things is just, you don't have to use these dates exactly because they're coming up, but we could send posters out to schools by about May 5th for some of these events, show them when it's coming up, have for booking, so let them know when they can start making them, and then inform the businesses of booking. Weekly reminders of the events on social media, and then calling the disabilities related agencies, calling, email, TV, radio, and newspapers, letting them know that the event's coming up, and then send out the posters for the ice cream event, and then order ice cream by that time. So that's just kind of a rough estimate, giving you guys an example of what a timeline would look like to send all this out. And then after it's all said and done, evaluation plan or feedback from the people that are there, and you can adjust the project as it's going. But to create feedback, we would create feedback cards to give the volunteers and attendees on how they would rate the events, and for also the volunteers and the complex itself. And those in charge of the planning, the events will fill out the forms of what worked and what didn't work, so you can adjust it for next time. And we can also go door to door, Riverside, ask people if they what they know about the complex as well, so you can get a general idea of how many people know about the Miracle League or what they know about them. And if deadlines aren't met, you guys as board members can hold a meeting to discuss steps that could get it towards completion or change stuff up if needed be to get it completed. So that's our presentation. Thank you guys for joining us. If you have any questions?
Questions? All right, so I'm Blake Meacham.
I'm Laura Garcia. I'm Alex Gill.
I'm Ashley Stagg.
This is our Miracle League Public Relations Plan.
So the Miracle League's mission statement is to provide recreational facilities designed with excellence for children with disabilities that will create integrated recreational play and bring smiles to participants and their families, and this can basically be taken out of their website.
All right, and for goal and targets, we just wanted to restate our goal of the plan. Dave passed you out that sheet, and I think it has it on there. But the goal of the plan is, again, to strengthen the relationships between the Miracle League and the Siouxland community. So I'll just go through a couple of the targets that we're going to be talking about in our project. So the first being physically disabled. Next, older generations. So we're going to be looking at working with retirement homes and assisted living communities that are around the Miracle League complex. Next, the mentally challenged. So these will be individuals from the Siouxland Mental Health Center. And our last one will be parents and children of the youth. So we have an age range from 5 years old to 60 years old.
So our first objective, we kind of talked about communicating with the area retirement and nursing homes, and just kind of taking advantage of the Miracle League facilities during the summer months. So we came up with some strategies and tactics of doing that. First of all, our strategy was to target those retirement nursing homes that are really close to the field. That way it might be easier to travel there. And then for our first tactic, in the back we have a contact list, and there are a couple of nursing homes with their contact information to maybe kind of get the ball rolling, but to contact other nursing homes as well. And then to plan face-to-face meetings between Kevin or any of the other board members with the activities directors of these retirement and nursing homes.
And for objective 2, we talked about partnering up the Siouxland Mental Health Center with the Miracle League by getting the children involved through their buddies program. And the strategy and tactics we came up with this objective was to identify key employees from the Siouxland Mental Health Center and pitch them a story. And basically what the buddies program is finding those disabled children, partnering them up with physically able other children. And then for our tactic was to set up a meeting between Kevin and the Siouxland Mental Health Center to partner up the two programs together.
Our third objective involves social media, so we communicate through social media to spread awareness of the Miracle League Network. One of the things right now about the Miracle League is that they do have a Facebook presence, but it is lacking a little bit, so we thought it'd be great to touch on that as an objective. So a strategy for that would be to develop specific content that can be shared consistently during all months of the year, not just in the summer. And our tactic would be the Facebook posts would be developed weekly, highlighting different events and attractions that the complex offers. So we do have some communication tactics. These communication tactics are designed to be given to media throughout the Siouxland community. They can be given to any and all journalists and our news outlets that you guys or Kevin can choose from. So first we have a news release. News release is mainly used to tell local media and journalists about a significant event surrounding the organization. It's usually just sent to multiple media throughout the community. It could be newspapers or KCAU, KTIV, news organizations like that. The one that we have for you is about teaming up the Explorers and Miracle League to do some kind of game or event during the summertime, probably on a weekend. But that's not the only thing you guys can do. Some examples could be leagues for the youth and elderly, partnership agreements, new facilities, major donors, tournaments. I know you guys have a golf outing coming up in late May. That would be something you could make a news release for.
So the next thing we have is a pitch letter. And a pitch letter is essentially directed towards a specific journalist or reporter. That could be at KTIB or the Sioux City Journal. The story tends to highlight an event, or it could highlight an individual. And then it serves as good publicity. So this is something that you could post on your social media, and it will also be presented in like in the newspaper or on TV. And it continues to build on existing relationships that you already have with media. Kevin told us that he has good relationships with the media. They come out and they report on stories already. So the pitch letter that we have is kind of highlighting a boy with autism who does announcing at the games, and just kind of the positive impact that this Miracle League has had for him.
All right, so next, one of our other communication pieces is actually a radio PSA. So for this, it's basically a short message you're going to send out to the public, and we have a couple target publics that we want to talk about with it. But it's really to just raise awareness. It's something that you don't have to pay for. The media is going to use it and send it out. And we're thinking iHeartRadio, which is located downtown area, so just really get to the locals and really show them what the Miracle League has to offer. For our targets, we really want to get to children and parents. They're going to be, during the summer, they're going to be listening to the radio, and our PSA is really talking about all the things the Miracle League has to offer. So when kids want to go to the pool or go putt-putting, they can do it all in one place. So really getting that to children and parents. And then next we have caregivers. So this is going to be any people that have children with disabilities or any adults with disabilities, really just getting to those people as well. And again, it's just to provide awareness.
So we did a Facebook audit. We found that one of the weaknesses that we discovered through a SWOT analysis that we did with Kevin was the fact that there wasn't really anyone dedicated to Facebook or social media in general. You just said that you hired someone recently, so maybe he or she could do that. So as you can see, the biggest engagement we got from Facebook posts was the vandalism that just happened. It was a thank you that was developed on Facebook. It got 100 likes, 3 comments, and 13 shares over there. But besides that, there really isn't a ton of engagement going on. So the average since February, since we started doing the audit, 30 likes per post, 2 comments per post, 3 shares per post. So these posts that we developed are something that we could share to you that possibly you could use to get more engagement. This is about the Miracle League's facilities in general. It's designed to attract parents and guardians. It's a picture of a girl in the splash pad. She's in a wheelchair, so that would hit a couple targets itself. The next one would be what the Miracle League is all about, which is the baseball field. It's designed to spread awareness about the facilities in general. And then the next one would be about the splash pad. You can see the kids having a good time there. It's directed at parents, so maybe parents that want to bring their kids to the pool, because that can get annoying in the summertime. They can take them to the splash pad instead, spend a few hours there.
All right, and then lastly here we have the evaluation plans and feedback. So we really want to evaluate how the popularity and awareness of the park has changed with our plan. So first, we really want to see increased usage and attendance from people due to the communication tactics that we have given out. It's really important for the board members just seeing how this has changed from the beginning and then to the end. We want to see more involvement with you guys having to deal with more volunteers or signing up more events and stuff like that. Amount of calls and emails received due to communication pieces, like I said, we want to see the news release and the pitch letter bringing in more people to the Miracle League. And then lastly, we want to see amount of likes and comments really increase due to like social media presence. Like Blake said, seeing that audit and really getting those numbers up from what they were at before.
Thank you. Any questions?
name's Rachel. I'm Aaron.
Isaiah.
And this is our PR plan. So our group learned a lot about the Miracle League during this plan, and we believe that our PR campaign is a service learning experience to help about the Miracle League and areas that they lack in. So after doing like a situational analysis of the Miracle League, and we decided to make a creative plan for them to implement in the future. So our PR campaign focuses on creative events with other organizations, different communication tactics, and implementation plan for to reach our plan's goals.
So 3 main things that we saw when we were researching the Miracle League is that the park is well established, but still a lot of people in the community might not know about it, or they do know about it but just haven't gone out to visit it yet. Then another thing is that since it's all just volunteers, like no set staff, that volunteers are in very high demand, so you could always use more people to help you out. And then you don't really have any sort of communications plan or public relations plan, so therefore we have opportunities to grow from those things. So for example, we want to help you gain awareness in the Siouxland community about the Miracle League, and then increase the facility usage.
It's not sitting here now. Sorry.
So again, gain more awareness in the Siouxland community, increase the facility usage, and then most of all, gain more volunteers. And then we're going to teach you guys how to take advantage of different communications tactics to reach different target publics. And then just some examples that we'll explain later on is that you could do co-sponsored events, like maybe have some internship opportunities to help with your guys' workload, and more creative media uses to get your word out there.
So our goal that we developed as a class was to strengthen the relationships between the Miracle League of Sioux City and the Siouxland community as a whole.
Our target publics are college interns, community groups, and athletic teams. Our demographics are the Boys and Girl Scouts, the 4-H clubs, and just regular college students around the area, and college and professional athletic teams.
So as a group, we have come up with 3 main objectives. And then our first one is to increase facility usage by strengthening the relationships between the Miracle League and schools, groups/organizations, and athletic teams within the next year. Our second is to improve effectiveness of communication methods towards the targeted publics to increase the awareness of the Miracle League within a year again. And then our last objective is to hire a communications and/or maybe a sports management intern within the next year as well.
So our action strategies to make this happen are to consistently help community groups plan events that would be hosted at the Miracle League complex, partner with local programs to gain volunteers, because that's something we feel that you're lacking in, so this would really help with that. And also partner with local colleges to offer internship opportunities, which would take a lot off your plates with the 2 different internship opportunities that we are going to bring up today.
Alright, so the first example event is that the Miracle League would be at an internship fair. So this is a great chance for the Miracle League to meet and greet students and possible interns. They'll be able to search for the right candidate to fill in as a communications or sports management intern. So for example, Kevin or a board member would contact Stacey Hayes. She's a careers counselor here at Morningside College, and she helps students with career opportunities and advising. So after that, she'll be able to reserve your spot at the internship fair and your table there. And then posters will be set up at Morningside College on every building.
Now we do have this more explained in depth in our handouts, but I'll just give you a brief overview of like the internship process. So
First of all, like we said, for example, Morningside College, if you're looking for interns, you can contact Careers Counselor Stacy Hayes. She can spread the word on campus, and then students can respond. Kevin can set up interviews. So, for example, with the communications intern, that person will be responsible for all social media. They can handle news releases, pitch stories, take pictures, so that will take a lot of the workload off of you guys. But then also, Kevin even gave us the idea of a sports management intern. Like you said, you've been doing a lot of the basic event planning, so maybe the intern can also help relieve that workload as well.
Our second event is the Miracle Concert, which is an example of a local band concert for children and adults with disabilities and also the able-bodied community. The purpose of this event is to increase facility usage and integration within the Siouxland community to gain awareness. So the intern or one of the board members would contact Girls and Boy Scouts in the Siouxland community, and the local band that we picked is the 35th and Taylor, and basically to set up a committee to plan this event. They would also send a news release and posters to the Siouxland community schools, human service agencies, and colleges and Boys and Girl Scouts in the Siouxland area, and there will also be contact information on the news release for further information on the event. They would also post on social media to publicize the event.
So another one of our target publics was 4-H groups. 4-H is more than just about the fair and agriculture. They're very big on leadership and community service. So we had the idea of maybe having a big buddy program. So the 4-H leaders could be paired with a child, either able-bodied or disabled-bodied, and help them out for a day. The 4-Hers can have their own leadership camp, maybe having a kickball team or hosting a t-ball event. So again, this can help you increase your facility usage and get more volunteers, which was 2 of our objectives. And then to get to the people, we have a contact list in the back of our packet. And then, so for this, you contact the Woodbury County Extension Office, so you could just be aware of all the clubs that are in this county, and then the person from there can help you reach out. And then you can do face-to-face meetings with 4-H clubs, or talk to the leaders, and then the intern would be responsible for like sending out posters and news releases to get to them.
Another event that we came up with, mainly targeting high school and college age students, but also families, so parents in general, was Glow Putt, so that we would use the putt-putt course, because we haven't used that yet in our plan. This would be a constant event, so it would be every week, which we feel would bring more traffic to the Miracle League and use it for different reasons. So how this would work would be every Friday from 8 to midnight, or however it works with the schedule for the Miracle League. The intern or the board members would send out news releases to high schools, local media outlets, colleges, things like that, and then posters around the school, so it would be free for everyone, come and go as you please, and everyone can be involved in their own way.
Alright, so this is the communications grid for the Miracle League Sioux City that displays the different communications that the Miracle League is currently using and the publics that they're currently targeting. So we can see here that the Miracle League has really strong print, such as brochure, news stories, and also a strong website. And then we see they have a good amount of face-to-face and social media, but we like to see more consistency with a board member or intern to do speeches or post on social media. And what we see rarely lacking in is direct email marketing or TV and radio to majority of these target publics. So this event, we created an event called the Siouxland Baseball Comes One. It's a co-hosted event with the Sioux City Explorers and the Miracle League of Sioux City. So the Explorers will be at the Miracle League Complex to basically assist the participants at the league ball games. Children and adults with disabilities and the able-bodied community are invited to participate in the league ball games. So basically the news release would be sent to Sioux City Journal, human service agencies, athletic teams, and college athletic teams to notify them of this event. The story pitch would be sent to Tim Gallagher, who's a columnist at the Sioux City Journal. Basically, the story pitch would be of why they wanted to co-host this event. So our basically story pitch would be Bobby Post, who is the pitching coach for the Explorers, and basically he wanted to host this event to raise awareness for the month of May, which is the Mental Health Awareness Month, and in dedication to his mother, who suffers from dementia. So basically, the purpose of the story pitch is to persuade the journalists or columnists of the journal to do a story on them in the newspaper.
Here are some promotional products that we came up with, t-shirts, koozies, and hats. And this we can give away free at any of the events that we sponsor, that you guys sponsor. And then also this would help the community recognize who you are and remember you guys after the event is over.
After developing our plan and coming up with all of our ideas, we gathered a budget and we did some research on it. We set our budget at about $3,000. We would spend that money on the promotional items, which we contacted Absolute Screen Art for shirts, hats, and koozies. And we would also print brochures, which would cost about $200 for around 250 brochures. And then we would also spend the money on concessions for events. But another idea that we came up with is asking for donations from local businesses like Jolly Time and Sam's Club, because normally they are willing to donate those things. Our implementation plan for our co-sponsored events. By reaching local businesses and organizations, you would gain volunteers and awareness for the Miracle League as a whole. So contacting the Sioux City Explorers, local high schools to have their incentive days at the field, and college teams and high school teams, you would gain volunteers, you would gain awareness, and traffic at the field in general. Board leaders and the interns could pitch this idea, so it wouldn't just be on you guys. If you implemented the internship opportunity, they would be able to take a lot of that off your plate.
And then we move to our evaluation plan. So our event evaluation plan, so basically Kevin, a board member, would keep a head count of attendees and volunteers after each event and keep record of them. We would also have the intern or board member keep track of likes, shares, followers on social media. And then the internship evaluation, Kevin or board member will do a final assessment of the intern's work, and they will meet individually with them to discuss with them. Kevin or the evaluation of their work will be shared with the intern's advisor. And then feedback. The intern or board member will post or email surveys to organizations or attendees after event to kind of get a feedback of what they felt or what they think about the event. And then they will also update social media each month to fit each event to publicize to certain audiences. And then the board of directors of Miracle League should adjust by communicating to different organizations and just by monthly by letting them know of opportunities and events happening at the Miracle League. So we just want to give a huge thanks to Kevin and the board members for providing information and giving us the opportunity to make this campaign for them. We'd also like to thank Dave Madison for guiding us through our work, and we hope that this plan will be used to in the upcoming year for the future and improvement of the Miracle League.